Yo, what's up? It's J-Dub I'm here to show you how to get that computer running smoothly so you can get those extra frame rates and smoother gameplay in PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into it. Alright, now keep in mind that this is going to be a short video. However, the steps that I'm taking to actually install the stuff, set it up, and then run it accordingly is going to take anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour depending on how fast your computer is. So, without further ado, let's step into here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Spybot, search and destroy, right? And I'm going to go right here. Boom. I shouldn't have to go over antivirus. Everybody should have, at a minimum, an antivirus installed. So I just go to Home Users. And I'm going to go to Free Edition. I'm going to turn this damn phone off. So I'm going to download the Free Edition. Free Edition. And I usually choose any one of these mirrors down here. Let's see if this will work. There we go. So I got my download down here. It's going to download. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to download and I'm going to install it. Alright, now if you want to do this the fast way, you're not going to create like a whitelist. You're just going to go ahead and install it. You're going to update it, etc., etc. Now, of course, I already have it installed. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my maintenance folder. So here is where I keep all the shit that I normally do to my computer to keep it running smoothly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Start Center. I'm going to go to Update. It's going to check. It says I haven't checked anything in 4 days. I'm going to click Update. It's going to download the updates. Of course, if it's the first time you're running it, this is going to take a minute. And we close there. Then I'm going to click on Immunization. Give this joker some permission. And it's going to run and see if there's any more immunizations available for basically the browser I don't use, which is Internet Explorer. So I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to go to Scan. There's two different scans. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to scan for usage tracks. This is going to take like 10 seconds. Then I'm going to fix this. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run a full scan. Okay. Now this is going to take a lot longer, and I'm going to do this in the background. I have a 4-core processor, so I should be able to hand multiple tasks like this. Of course, if you have like a single core or dual core processor and like not a lot of extra threads, you might have to like just do this by itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start a scan, and I'm gonna close this, and I'm gonna minimize that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this thing called Ccleaner. So, or well, Ccleaner. So I go to Ccleaner, and I actually have the full version, but I definitely recommend. It's not that expensive. I forgot how much I paid. I think I paid. Well, let's see what it paid. Professional. No, I paid for everything. So I got the Professional Plus package. It was 40 bucks. Maybe I should do that on the next giveaway. Just give away like a full copy of Ccleaner or whatever. So I'm gonna go into Ccleaner. Boom. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that everything is checked. I don't check anything down here in advance. I pretty much leave like everything checked that is default, including like the applications. So I check everything on my Google Chrome. I do not check the save passwords because I have a hard time remembering my passwords. I have like a password for like everything, you know? I mean, if you think about it, like, you have password for like your Yahoo and your Hotmail and your Gmail, and they're all different. And then there's Steam, and then your bank account, and then your other bank account, and your credit card. And sooner or later, you just have too many passwords, so I'm not going to clear that out at all. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to analyze. And, needs to clear. Alright, you know what? I'm going to copy this, because I got some jams plans. Alright, we close my jams. GG. Running through it. Yes, close it. I'm going to run the cleaner. 355 megabytes. Okay, let's do it. Yes. Alright, outstanding. So we closed that. Go ahead and open up my other window. Alright, and we're back. So we went ahead and we cleaned everything out. Now we're going to fuck with the registry here. Excuse my language. So all we're going to do here is we're going to scan for issues. Alright. Only one thing wrong here. So I'm going to hit fix selected issues, and I'm going to back up the registry, and I already have a folder in my maintenance folder. It's registry backups, and that's where I save it. Just in case I delete something and it screws my computer up, I can go back and I can fix it. So I'm going to fix this issue, I'm going to hit close, I'm going to scan again. See if any more issues pop up. Nothing. Alright. Go back to my maintenance folder. Still got this running in the background, we're at 26%. We are going to, and I'm going to ignore this Advanced System Care 11 and this Drive Booster 5. I just started using it, so I cannot vouch for how well it works. Okay, I'm still evaluating it, and I don't even have full versions of it. I tend to be a person that uses like I'll try out something, and then once I can vouch, like, yeah, this is good shit, it hasn't like fucked up my computer or anything, then I will commit all the way. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and run this. It's the Winaso registry optimizer. I also have the full version of this. So I'm gonna scan my registry, and this is gonna pick up some other shit that the other one probably didn't pick up. We'll just see what this one does. Holy cow, look at this. What do we got going on here? Good lord. $650. This is nuts. Something I do like about this other program compared to the first one I was using, the Ccleaner, was that it does have a privacy cleaner, so I can clean all the privacy out from my all this out here. So I got all this, I guess. So I'm gonna scan it. Not much. Just go clean it. Okay, we'll clean it. Excuse me. Cool. Now it has a shortcut cleaner, which I actually like too. Because, you know, sometimes you delete a program or you uninstall a program and it still leaves a shortcut behind. Great, don't have any of those. We're going to go back and we're going to scan the registry, see if it found any more shits. Now while that's going, let me go ahead and... let's see. Winaso. I'm going to pull open the Winaso. And the Winaso has a lot of other tools that come with it too. So as you can see, let's go to products. Well, actually, let's just go to downloads. So I bought like the whole suite. So I basically have the full version of the registry optimizer, the disk cleaner, the easy tweak, and the registry defrag. And I love the disk cleaner, okay? So the disk cleaner is pretty BA. Alright, you'll see in a minute. So you can go ahead and download these and try out the trials. I have a full version of this too. Alright, so it found one error. I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to scan it one more time. Alright, and we are back. No errors found. Cool. It's got some other stuff in here. I'm not really going to harp on it. It's got like a registry defrag, so I'm going to go ahead and do this and just show you what this does. It's not going to improve my registry access by too much, so I ain't going to sweat it. Usually when I start seeing this over 10%, I start messing around with it. So I'm done with that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like the easiest thing I can do, and I'm going to go to, where is it? Right here? I click on, I actually put a shortcut for this PC down there. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to right click on properties, and I'm going to go to disk cleanup. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure everything is checked. I'm going to hit clean up system files. And I want to get rid of everything. And by checking that, I can get rid of basically about 1 gigabyte of shit. So I'm going to delete that. Now, here's something to note. If you have recently installed a Microsoft update, you don't want to go ahead and delete system files just yet. Basically, if there's a big Microsoft Windows update, and it's not like something security related, it's like a whole service package or something with a lot of size, you don't want to delete everything, because if your computer is, you know, the computer decides not to work and it has to like revert back, it's not going to be able to revert back because you deleted all the files. So I should tell you that in advance, but I didn't. So at any rate, now I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to hit optimize. Here we go. I should actually probably get rid of this. I don't like third-party programs actually running my stuff. So what I'm gonna hit is I'm gonna hit Defrag, and I'm gonna click on it over here, and I'm going to hit. Let me see what change settings says. All right, I'm just gonna hit Optimize and see what happens. So Windows 10 is automatically set to do what it's supposed to do depending on what it is. If it's a solid state, if it's an NVMe, basically, or if it's a hard disk. I don't like third parties. Of course, you're not going to be able to optimize any of these other ones. So, boom. Those are all optimized. I'm hitting OK. I'm hitting OK. Now I need to do the same thing to my D drive. I need to clean up the disk here. I'm going to hit Clean Up System Files. There's nothing there. I hit Delete anyway. And that is done. Now, I'm going to close out of this. Close out of this. I'm going to leave this open. I'm not done with this yet. There's one more program I want to show you. I'm going to click on the search button. I'm going to hit %temp%, and I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to take me to the local temp folder. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to highlight everything, and I'm going to hit the delete key. And I'm going to hit try again. And if I can't, I'm going to hit skip, skip, skip. I'm going to do this for all current items and hit skip. And what this does is basically when you download installers and you install programs, it puts it extracts things into the local temp folder here, and what happens is over time, if you don't go through and delete this, dude, you could have gigs and gigs and gigs and gigs of shit just hiding out in here, and you don't want that. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and close that, and now where are we sitting at? We are sitting at 75%. It is speeding up now. Look at it go. Now I'm gonna go to the disk cleaner, the Winaso disk cleaner, and I love this thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to my options. I want to click all these on. I want to get rid of 0-byte folders, include the hidden files, include system files, include read-only files. Now the thing is, it's only going to delete the ones that aren't being used, so basically the ones that I don't need. I'm going to hit drive clean, and I'm going to scan my C and D drive, basically my NVMe drive and my solid state, and I'm going to find a bunch of just 0-byte files. So look, not much, but I mean there are some there. So I'm going to hit delete, and we're going to delete them, and they're cleaned. Now we only moved to the recycle bin, so when I go over here and I hit start clean and I delete, they're all gone now. Alright, cool. So that is done. I've ran the registry optimizer, the disk cleaner, I ran Ccleaner, and currently running this. This is done. There's only one thing there. I'm going to fix selected. I close that and I'm done. The last thing I am going to do is I'm going to check for driver updates for the things I use the most. So I'm going to open this, and I am going to see, hey, is there an update for this? So let's cancel. Let's go here. Check for updates. See if there's an update for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to look for an update to my nVidia graphics driver. So hopefully you know what you're looking for, and by this time I know what I'm looking for. So this one, of course, was the one that came. Oh, I actually think this one is better than mine. Let's see. Let me double check. So how do I double check? I'm going to go to computer management, which I also put a fast thing down there. I'm going to go to device manager, and I'm going to hit display adapter. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to hit properties. I'm going to hit driver. This is going to tell me that, hey, my driver was digitally signed on 10/27/2017, and it is driver version blah, right? Well, according to nVidia, this is actually newer. So I'm going to download this, and you never know. Like something as simple as downloading a new driver because there may have been optimizations that came out, for your particular graphics card for the particular game that you're playing. So while that's downloading, oh shoot, my nVidia is downloading. Well, the Logitech one has yet to come back from the query. So let's just go ahead and look up the latest Logitech gaming software, and that's actually kind of important for me. Because the Logitech one, runs my mouse, it runs my keyboard. It says it runs the webcam, but I actually have Logitech webcam software. It also runs my headset. So we are going to check it out right here. Let's see what we got. October 26, 2017. This is about. This one is 89688. This is 89688. So we have nothing to worry. This is the most up-to-date version here. I'm gonna close that. Right. And we're almost done here. So I'm gonna show my folder. Let me get rid of that. I don't need that. And I'm going to show you how you install the drivers, right? You're like, I know how to install drivers. It's not a big deal. Like, actually, it is a big deal. So when you install these drivers, you're going to double click on this. No brainer. Go ahead and hit OK. Let this thing launch. What is up with my background though? Like, I hate when it does that. Display settings. Personalize. Picture. Let's just go with that one, dude. Alright, so I'm going to agree and continue, right? And I want to hit custom. Very important here. Okay, now I'm going to perform a clean installation, and I'm going to uncheck everything. You can't uncheck graphics driver, okay? And this, you know, we're going from the 388.13 to the 388.31. I am only going to check the physics. That is it. I don't want the HD driver, the Vision driver. I don't want the GeForce Experience. I don't want the Vision controller driver. All I want is the graphics driver, which I have no choice, and I want the physics. That's what I want. Now I click clean installation because I always do. And I'll show you what's up next. So it's going to do its thing. And I'll come back to this when it's done. Alright, welcome back. It finished installing. Of course, there was a restart involved. So as you can see, the graphics driver is up to date and the physics system software is up to date. Awesome. Cool. Alright, so we are like more than halfway done. Okay, and if I didn't say this before the video, we're optimizing our computer basically to play games more efficiently. We're getting rid of shit. We're optimizing everything. Particularly, we're going to focus on PLAYERUNKNOWN'S BATTLEGROUNDS. So what we're going to do next, right, is we are going to right-click. Awesome. All right, there you go. Should probably update that too. So we're going to right-click on this, and we are going to go to nVidia Control Panel. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mess with a thing called Digital Vibrance. And that is actually under Adjust Desktop Settings. So make sure you have the monitor selected that you actually play on. I have a 3-monitor setup. My game actually shows up on this monitor right here. So I just want to make sure that this is highlighted. So I'm going to slide this up to actually like 80%. Okay, I'm going to hit Apply. And you may be able to see... No, not really. You can't really... It doesn't look like it's showing on OBS. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to manage 3D settings. Alright, these are global settings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Program Settings tab. And I actually have PLAYERUNKNOWN Battleground. If you don't have it, you're going to have to go to Add and you're going to have to locate it. Normally, you could just launch the game and then close the game and it will show up here, or you can browse and find it there. But as you can see, I have it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my settings that I use to give me the best possible refresh rate, etc., to dominate while I play PLAYERUNKNOWN Battlegrounds. So, anisotropic filtering I turn off. I'm going to turn off the anti-aliasing. I'm going to turn off the gamma correction. I'm going to turn off the anti-aliasing mode. I'm going to, alright dude, we're cool. Just leave me alone right now. We're going to turn off transparency. We're going to use that. I want to use my graphics card. I want to specifically to use that. So use all the CUDA cores and the GPUs. I'm going to go on the maximum pre-render frame rates. I don't remember exactly what I put, but I'm going to tell it to use the global 3D setting. The 3D application being the game itself. I'm going to turn off the multi-frame sampling. I am going to use the GTX 1080 Ti on OpenGL. Power management mode, very important. Prefer maximum performance. Blah, 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 blah. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, preferred refresh rate. This is monitor 2 of 3, because that's the one I play on. I want highest available. All right. Moving along, shader cache. I'm actually gonna, you know what? I'm gonna hit this on. Anisotropic sample. I'm gonna hit off. Allow on the negative load bias. I want to, on texture filtering, I want high performance. I hate how it does that. It catches and then it like switches back up. Trilinear optimization is on. Great. Threaded optimization on. Let's do it. Triple buffering we want off. And vertical sync I want off. I don't want vertical sync because I want to get like the highest frames as possible. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames. I'm going to go ahead and hit use the 3D application setting. So after that is done, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hit apply. Alright. Now, here's the key. If you do what I do when you install the next graphics driver, so if you find out, oh hey, there's a new graphics driver for my nVidia card, you have to go back and do all of this again for every single game that you specifically want to manage the 3D settings for. So keep that in mind when you click on the fresh install. So if you just want to install over it, that's fine. But I always do a fresh install and then I come in here and this is what I do. I change, and you're gonna have to adjust the digital vibrance as well. Okay. All right. So I close that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that since that's done. I'm gonna put this in program files. Replace. Get out of here. All right. We're almost done. Alright man, we're almost done. We're almost out of the woods. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pop open my Steam real fast. If I remember my password. So we ran some cleaners. We did some stuff. We trimmed our hard drive and our solid state. We're cooking with gas now. Now I'm going to talk about Reshade. So Reshade is... I don't know, it depends on who you talk to. Some people say it's cheating. Me personally, if it was cheating, then people would be banned for it. So technically it's not cheating. It's like frowned upon, you know, I guess. I don't really see it as cheating. The way the game is like, it's just really hard to see people in the game. So using Reshade, not that big of a deal, especially considering I would imagine to say half the people out there are using Reshade anyway. So we're going to go type in Reshade, and we're going to get this file here, and it's Reshade. Boom. First one, we're going to click download. It's going to take us all the way down here. We're going to hit download here. It's going to take like 2 seconds, and there we go. See this? There's Reshade. It's got the little PC Master Race dude on there. Take that out of there, and I just keep it in here. Right? Oh, there's a new one, 3.1. So, cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to delete Reshade. Now, for those of you that actually use Reshade, you might run into every now and then you like try to launch the game, and then when you launch the game on Steam, and then it like starts up, and then it doesn't launch, and you're like, what the fuck? So you like launch it again, and it starts up, but it doesn't launch. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about fixing that first, and you got to remember that because just about every big update there is for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you're gonna run into that problem with Reshade. So we're going to go to Library. We're going to go to Games. We're going to right click. We're going to hit Properties. We're going to browse Local Files. TSL Game. Binaries. Win64. Alright. We're going to delete Reshade Shaders. DXGI, DXGI, DXGI. Everything that says DXGI and Reshade shaders. Delete. It is gone. It is done. It is finished, right? Now, after that's done, we're going to close. We're going to close. And then, just for shits and grins, we're going to validate the local files, right? We're just going to make sure that we didn't delete something stupid that we weren't supposed to delete. Because in the event that the next thing we're going to do is we're going to launch the game. So this is very important. We went in the local files. We deleted everything associated with Reshade. Now we're verifying that we didn't delete anything important. Oh, hey, we're good. So next, we're actually going to launch the game. The game should launch. There we go. So, once the game launches up perfectly fine, we're going to exit the game. Actually, hold up a second there. Before we leave, let's talk about some of the in-game settings here. So depending on how beastly your graphics card is, depends on what some of the settings you want. I keep my resolution at 1080. That's fine. My recommendation is to keep your FPS camera at 103 and your screen scale at 120. This is actually going to give you the best field of view to see your surrounding, especially if you play in first person. Now, if you play third person, this will not matter. Okay. Now the screen scale will matter. So for example, there have been screenshots where you can take this and you can move this down, and compared from like 100 to 120 depends on whether or not you can see somebody behind a corner or not. So my recommendation right off the rip is keep these jokers on high. I keep the brightness on mine at like 70. Anti-aliasing I keep low. Post-processing I keep low. Shadows I keep low. Texture I keep ultra, and everything else I keep low. Definitely no motion sickness for the motion blur, and no vertical sync. Okay, and as you can see up here, well, you actually can't see it. Steam's disabled, but it's 144 FPS. So I think there's kind of like some of that that VSync that we didn't want, but it's there. I don't really know. But anyway, so that is that, man. Like that is my graphics in a nutshell. The foliage I keep low. Keep note on that. The view distance I keep low. That's also very important, because humans, like other dudes and other cars, they have a maximum frame render distance. So it doesn't matter if I turn this shit up to like excruciatingly high, they will still render at like a human stops rendering at about 980 meters. So after 980 meters, it doesn't matter if this is on very low or ultra, you will not be able to see the person. I think vehicles stop rendering at 1,000 meters. So basically 1 kilometer. After a kilometer, you're not gonna be able to see the vehicle, even with like a fucking scope. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's funny. It's just weird. So, and effects I keep on low, because in the event that you get like in a fight and there's like smoke and like grenade explosions everywhere, that could definitely fuck your frame rate up, and that could be the difference between life and death. The ultra textures, just why not? Something particularly interesting with the way that graphics cards work nowadays is they got the boost clock built in them. So the boost clock built into them, and the third-party software, from like, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a fart here, from like MSI or from Asus, like whatever card that you bought, they have like software that you install, and it will actually boost the card up when there's like a demand for it. Otherwise, if you don't have the software installed, the card's just going to run at its stock clock. So it's very important that you make sure that if you got a card that's an aftermarket card, that you have the software installed to engage the boost clock. And something that helps with doing that is actually tweaking with some of these settings in here. And by tweaking some of these settings here, when your card gets demanded, like if I had everything on very low, and I had this GTX 1080 Ti, right? I got this baller ass card. It runs circles around everything. If I don't ever put a tax on it, then we could say it's safely assumed that it would run at like 100 FPS average, which is fine. But sometimes you have to go in and set some of the settings high, and what that does is it puts more demand on the card. And because it puts more demand on the card, even though there will be cases where like you may have a lower frame rate, the thing is overall your average frame rate is going to be higher, because your card is going to be running higher, because it is expecting more shaders or more polygons or whatever, for what have you. So I keep my texture on very high. I can see my teammates very well. I can see rocks. I can see cars. Everything else I keep on very low. I actually tried playing with like some of these, and I just didn't like how blurry it was for me. So I keep everything on very low except texture. Okay, and that's subject to change. And like I said, I also have my brightness on 70. I got my FPS camera, which does not affect third person. So if you play third person, this doesn't mean anything. Don't even know why it's there. Like, this should be... Well, I get it. I know why it's there. If you drop this down, and I will say this. If you drop this slider down, the lower you drop this down, your screen comes in like this. Okay? Now, two things happen when you do that. So your field of view from not aiming down the sight, you're running, your field of view at 80 is smaller. However, you can see further ahead of you. Things like, you know, a dude at 100 meters probably looks like 75 meters. Okay? Now, if you want to increase your field of view, so now we can see, like, we have bigger peripheral vision, that guy from 75 meters is going to look further out. That also plays into the same thing when you're rocking like a red dot, or you're rocking like any kind of optic. The smaller the field of view, the bigger the zoom you're going to get on that optic. So that's just something to consider. So if you have a hard time spotting people out there, you might want to drop this down. But me, I am more concerned with my peripheral, what's going on my left and my right. You know, not saying I got like cat's eye vision, but I definitely keep this up jacked up as high as I can. And screen scale, as long as you have a baller-ass card, there's no reason that you shouldn't have this thing at 120. Even with a GTX like 1050 Ti or a GTX like 780, I think. Like, I mean, you can get away with, like, I would say the lowest I would go is like 105. But you should see the screenshots on the screen scale and how that all works out. So, okay, we're going to get out of here. I've been talking too much about that. And we're going to go back to Reshade. So now I showed you how to uninstall Reshade just in case you had an issue with Reshade. So we're going to set up Reshade 3.1.0. More info. I want to run this anyway. Screw you, Windows. I do what I want. So we're going to select the game first. So now we got to find PUBG. I think PUBG is actually on my D drive. Steam apps. Common. PUBG. TSO game, binaries, Win64. Boom. There. I want to choose DirectX 10 Plus. I want to hit yes, and I'm going to download all these shaders. I'm going to uncheck all, and I'm going to mess with Technicolor 2, and I'm going to go up to Adaptive Sharpen. Only these two here, okay? It's only two I'm fucking with. That is done. Awesome. I close it. Now, I'm going to go back into my Steam, like this. Blue. Brr. Brr. Now, like I said, that if you had trouble, you already had this thing installed before, you should notice that this comes up here. Let's see. Alright, there we go. I'm sorry. So, what you missed, because I didn't realize I didn't have this checked, was there's going to be a red thing up here, and you just click the add, and you click in here, and this box is going to be red, and I typed in PUBG. And once I typed in PUBG and I hit enter, this popped up just like this. So first thing I do is hit Shift F2 when you get in here. So I'm going to make sure that these two are checked. I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm actually going to leave the sharpening strength as is. Okay, I like this sharpening strength. What I don't like is the strength of, this starts off as a default of 1. Okay, I'm going to click and drag this down to, I like about 50%. 50% Technicolor 2. Other than that, it looks like a Tex Avery cartoon. If anybody gets the reference, thumbs up. Yeah, Tex Avery. Alright. Then I'm going to hit finish. Then I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to change this from configuration to performance mode. And then boom, we are done here. I hit exit. Alright, cool. Do I have any rewards? Alright, I spent all the rewards this week. So I'm going to exit out. And that is it. So if you made it through to the end of the video and you learned something that you didn't know already, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I'd like to say I push out content regularly, but I got kind of a hectic lifestyle, especially going on now. I am getting ready to move, and you know, yeah, that stuff too. So I'm also doing giveaways. Stop by on my Twitch channel. The Twitch channel will be in the link down there, as well as what my computer specs are and a little bit about me. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate everybody saying hey, what's up. But yeah, until then, I will see you out there. Peace.